It is impossible to get on live. Oh man, right? Having one arm makes getting these things ready exceedingly difficult. All right, how's everybody doing tonight? I'm just gonna sit here in the dark. How's everybody doing tonight? I'm just gonna sit here in the dark. There we go. People will be tuning in. I'll just stare at the screen. Illuminate. All right, we got Smart Gamer. Any absent Yarrow? What's up, man? I haven't seen you in a long time. We got Bobby. And, of course, Ego. Steven Sullivan. Semper Fi, brother. I initially put the stream on for 4:30, and then 5, and then 5:30, and then 6, and then 6:10. And my daughter went down the street and invited all the neighborhood kids over, and they're playing in the pool. And okay. So, how's everybody doing tonight? I'll be honest with you guys, I really didn't want to get online, but I kind of felt like I had to force myself to. I am almost at 8,000 subscribers, and I am getting tiny by the day. Be sure to respond to my message on Signal. I've got training all turned around. Oh man, I haven't been on Signal in a while. So here's what's going on. I'm about to launch memberships, and YouTube already cleared them. I was about to launch them, and then I was looking at them, and I'm going, "Am I going to be able to do this?" Because if I put memberships out and people actually pay for services, I have to do it. So I asked my wife. What I told her was, if she'd be willing to help me manage the channel, all proceeds will go to her. So this will be her stay-at-home work job for the time being until she gets her massage business going back up again. And so she'll get all the money. I'll pay her every dime. This will be her income until she gets her business back going. And she'll help me kind of manage scheduling, that kind of thing, so that way I can do. I'm going to launch a Discord for members only. I'm going to offer video training services, but it has to be realistic. I got to be able to do it. So that was the only thing I was hesitant on. Was like, I said, if people start buying these memberships and I can't, I don't have the time to do the video one-on-one. Like, what's that? I mean, how I have to be able to provide the services I promised. I'm also, as you guys know, I used to be a professional illustrator, and I'm designing T-shirts. And I'm going to do, it's going to be 100% homegrown, all my artwork. The only thing I'm struggling with is design ideas. So what I need from you guys is, I need a powerlifting team name that I can register with the IPL, and I need T-shirt ideas that you would wear. Like, what do you want to see? I'll draw it. I'll even sketch some stuff up. We'll have a live stream where I'll bust out the sketch pad, and I'll draw some stuff up, and maybe you guys can help me with that. Oompa's asking me what happened to my arm. I was discovering myself in the shower and I slipped. Doing pull-ups with 50 pounds for 9 reps. Nice. Once you start doing weighted pull-ups, Rapier, it's all straight awesome gains. It's one of the, you can't do a better back exercise, in my opinion. Runner Boy, what is up, my man? Runner Boy, I gotta tell you right now, check this guy out, Runner Boy. He's up and coming. Looking good, brother. You're making solid, steady gains, and I gotta say, I've been pretty impressed with what I'm seeing from you. How many members do I have now? I want to say I'm right under 8,000. Pixart by Nico. What's up, brother? My arm is doing really good. Uh, I can take this off and I can almost straighten it out. I'm starting to be able to put resistance on it. Oh, just a little bit. Boozy the Clown says Team 5%. I see what you did there. I would wear some compression shirt. Yeah, so I want to, like, I'm not going to mess around with, like, cheap tank tops. Like, we had, Bobby and I were, he submitted some ideas for t-shirts, and the idea was I was going to draw them myself, but at the time I was working like 60 or 70 hours a week, and I just didn't have time to do it. So he had an artist off of Etsy do them, and they were okay. They were just samples, but the t-shirt quality was like, I don't know, it was like, those cheap, like the cheapest ones you could buy that were actually real cotton, and I didn't like the cut of the tank tops. Like, I want to, if I'm going to do small batches of my own custom artwork, I want it to be on some nice stuff, and I don't mind coming out of pocket for small batches if it's stuff that my members are interested in. So, it's like I got 8,000 members. If I get 20, 30 of you to say you want a specific design on a specific piece of clothing, I will make a run. But otherwise, it's not, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. I did not see your deadlift PR, Runner Boy. Is there any way you could put a link in the chat? We got Mike Torino. What's up? Did 190 kilograms. Holy shit, man. I haven't seen any YouTube published compression shirt merch. No, and the reason why you won't is because it's expensive. And, if a producer's going to spend the money on that kind of stuff, they got to be able to sell it. If they're not going to be able to move it, it's just going to be like it's going to sit in inventory and collect dust. How do I work up to do dips, push-ups, and oh god, pull-ups at a really heavy body weight? Smart Gamer 999. Okay, let's break that down. Let's start with push-ups. If you can't do push-ups, there's a couple things you can do. One, you can do the way the girls do them, and you can get on your knees and push there. But generally speaking, what I like to do is if somebody can't do a push-up, find something that raises your angle, like a table or a chair, or even the wall. Start with the wall. Start doing push-ups against the wall, and each week work your way down, lower and lower and lower and lower. And you need to really crank the numbers out. So if you're going to do push-ups against the wall, which are super easy for most people, you need to do them until your arms are on fire. And then you need to work your way down. You got to really, really push the volume. That'll condition you. And so the line of progression isn't necessarily going to be the amount of push-ups you're going to do. It's going to be the angle at which you can do them. Now, if you can't even do a push-up, I'm thinking a dip's probably out of the question. But most gyms have what's called an assistance machine. And what it does is you can put your knees on it and counterweight. So it's got a weight stack on it. And if you weigh 200 pounds, you could put 150 pounds on it. And it will take 150 pounds off your body, and you can do dips. Same thing with pull-ups. Usually those machines also have assisted pull-ups. If you don't have that machine, what you can do is you can put a band, like a resistance band, and loop it around whatever you're doing pull-ups on, and you can put your knees or your feet in the band, and that will take weight off of you. Dips are kind of tricky. Whatever you're doing dips across, you can set a band across, and you can kind of work your way into it and use that. I've seen people do dips with a slingshot. Maybe, I don't know. I've seen people do push-ups with a slingshot. Anything you can to take body weight off. Like you can even put a resistance band across your shoulders. As a matter of fact, if you have, like, I've got these awesome little PRX bands. I might not be able to do it because of my injury here. But usually what people will do is kind of like a slingshot. They'll set it up across their shoulders, and then when they do push-ups or dips, this band presses against them, and it takes weight off of you. It makes it a little bit easier to do presses. You can do things like that. You might have to get creative, but there are ways to take weight off of you. And like you don't get offended by jokes. Boozy the Clown. Nah, life's too short, man. But the Etsy guys aren't really it. Well, you get what you pay for with Etsy. I mean, you can find some really good starving artists, but if you want to commission good work, you got to pay them. I don't think links work. Well, when I posted links, I was able to get them to work. I'm going to attempt a 115 kilogram incline press tomorrow. I hate how you make me do math. 115 kilograms. It's, what is that? 180 pounds? 175 pounds? What happened to your arm? Guru Dev. I can't think of a joke. Shit. I'm just going to tell you, I popped my bicep when I was doing deadlifts. And they reattached it, so I got the surgery. Let's see. I've been using girl push-ups with greasing the groove. So, the problem with the girl push-ups is it gets a little bit difficult to increase the resistance. I mean, you can... I can't really use my arm here, but like, say you're doing push-ups underneath, right? And you're over here, you're doing your push-ups. Really, all you can do is kind of lean out more. But you're going to eventually have to get the line of progression. Putting your feet up is usually too much for most people. So that's kind of why I like to increase the angle of the push, because I think that's a little bit easier to get incremental resistance. Let's see, what did Quinn have to say? Quinn's original. Let's see. Little Nay, let's see what he had to say. Your wife is my cardio too. She, careful what you wish for, brother. She'd tear you apart. Let's see. I forgot I was mod for a second. Yeah, no. Christina she's either going to come on the chat live, or she's going to moderate. She's doing a few things, but my wife can take care of herself. I would be willing to wager. Let's take a look at Little Nay's profile here. Go to channel. If that is you, Little Nay, I am 100% certain my wife would beat the ever-living shit out of you. And I would find it to be hilarious. She's got a really mean left, man. Georgie, what's up, man? How you been? We got Rox DX Exabec. Rox. Yeah. I would just call you Rox. Have you used growth hormone at any point in your life? No. I am just testosterone, DHB. I did a couple cycles of Anadrol for competition. Anavar, used a little bit of that. That's pretty much it. Oh, Masterone. I was cruising on Masterone for a while, but I didn't really like that very much. My doctor, the HRT clinic that I work with, turned me on to what's called dihydroboldenone, and I've been using that for about 6 months. At low doses. I've been taking about 200 milligrams of test and then 100 milligrams of DHB. But right now, actually, believe it or not, I'm on nothing. I've been 100% natural since the surgery, and I don't know if I'm going to go back on anything. I'm kind of waiting for my blood work. I got my blood work done. I haven't talked to my doctor yet. I gotta go. Gotta wake up for work in 3 hours. I don't envy you, brother, but thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. At my body weight, let's see, smart gamer. I'm like one of the only people that's gonna make reaching 225 bench press easier than a dip. By the time I can do dips, I should be able to bench 315. I forgot how big you were. Dips are one of those things where um, you can also do eccentrics. So what you do is you stand up on a box and you lock your arms out and then just slowly, slowly, slowly go into the dip. And then step back up on the box and repeat. And just do really, really long timed eccentrics. You can do like 30 seconds. Something that's a real challenge. And then, go as deep as you can with the goal of increasing the range of motion every time. Kind of lean forward into them. And that will not only increase your proficiency with pretty much with all of your pushing movements, it'll help your bench press out too immensely, especially at your body weight. That is that's something you can add to your training that's pretty easy, and it'll make a big difference for your bench press. Do you feel anything on your first dose of test? Are there any feelings you get in general? No. So here's the thing. So I was 100% natural until the age of 46. 45, right in there between, right around my birthday. Um, about, at first it was nothing. I was like, all right, is this doing anything? And there's no euphoric feeling like drinking a beer or taking a drug. But what I did notice is over time, my energy increased, my sleep got better. I felt like a 20-year-old. I'd say within 2 weeks, I just looked in the mirror and I was like, holy shit, you're getting shredded. That first 6 months, I put on 8 pounds of muscle mass, and this is just on doctor prescribed TRT, nothing more. Yeah, I put on a lot of muscle. My body it recomposed itself. I lost a lot of fat. I got my libido back. It was great. I loved it, but there was no like rush. There was no like wow. Anabolics just don't work that way. In my experience, I haven't taken anything where I've experienced that. I've heard some people say that when they take the real heavy duty stuff that they feel something, but I don't know. I stay away from that stuff. Show us the sloppy Joe. That's going to cost you money, Gavin. You start seeing dollar signs go up there, maybe we'll talk about it. Georgie, I own 2 successful businesses, 4 houses, a thoroughbred horse with a beautiful wife and kids. I live on a golf course with a huge lake and boats. Good, that's awesome. I drive a pickup truck. I work construction. I live in a 1,600 square foot house. I got a bunch of chickens. Wow, my old trusty hound dog sits next to me at night. Whittle wood on the back porch. And I wouldn't trade it for anything. Dip holds at the top only help, right? No, I would go through the whole range of motion, like really, really, really slow negatives. I do that with the bench, honestly. Like when I'm getting ready for competition, I'll overload the bench. Say if I'm benching 400, I'll put like 450 on there. And you want to have the help of a spotter, but you just hold it and then slowly, slowly, slowly bring it down to your chest. Like you set a timer for like 30 seconds, and it'll wreck you. Christina, with a pool. Hey, baby. Playing spoons. That's right. Steven, I live in a studio apartment. It's nice. $920 a month. Damn. Anthony says, do you hunt? Yes, but it's been a while. I haven't gone hunting in a while. The last time we went hunting, we went northern Nevada. We went elk hunting. What did I have? I had my Remington 700, which was a 308. And I had it kitted to... It kind of looked like an M40A1, which is the old Marine Corps sniper rifle based on the Remington 700 series. So I've spent, man, that rifle probably spent about $3,000 on it when I was done with it. I don't have that one anymore. The next rifle I want to buy is a lever action 4570. My wife's got a lever action 3030. She's got a Marlin, and she's an assassin with it. Let's see, thoughts on, let's see, we got Rox DX. How do you say that? Rox DX back. Rox DX back. Rox DX back. All right, anyway, I'll just call you Rox. Thoughts on lay Mike Menser's philosophy of late Mike Menser. Taking a week off from the gym sounds insane. Um, so the principle of my training for the last 3 years have been what we did is we took Mike Menser's Arthur Miller is really it was Arthur Jones. I'm sorry, the creator of the Nautilus used Mike Menser to kind of like push his machines, but essentially his principle was one set to failure. So where like say Arnold Schwarzenegger would do 5 sets of 10, we'll say Mike would do one set to failure. So I used a little bit of West Side barbell. I used like the Wengler 531s, undulating periodization, where he rotates rep ranges and the percentage of 1 rep max every week. So like 1 week you're doing 60 to 70% of your 1 rep max. The next week you're doing 80 to 85, and then the third week you're peaking at 90 to 95. And that might look like sets to failure. That might look like a set of 8, 5, and 3, or 2 even, depending on how heavy you're going. And then a deload, which is not a week off, but it's a deload week. And then after that, you would either add more weight or try to PR. So, where we changed from the Wendler 531, we took his undulating periodization schedule, and instead of doing the 531 program, we would do 3 warm-up sets, 3 working sets with 1 set to failure. And that's how I trained. That was the complete total volume I did for training, and I did that for 3 years. I was able to put 300 pounds on my total, um, which for a guy that was 45 years old is, whether you're on PEDs or not, natural, it doesn't matter. Like, that's unheard of for a guy that age. So it worked for me really well. Um, it allowed me, so basically I upped the intensity, lowered the volume, which is better for older guys because we can't recover as fast. Um, and then what I found is after about 2 or 3 years, I started plateauing. I started the intensity got to the point where that was too much. I wasn't recovering properly, so we started adding block periodization. So now what I do when I'm getting ready for a competition is I do a 4-week conditioning block, which is super high rep, like 50% of your 1 rep max for like sets of 50 to 100 reps. Basically, you do as many as you can in a row, and then consequently as many sets as it takes to get to your target, which is 100 reps. So first set's 20, second set's 15, third set's 10, whatever. I mean, then at the end you're doing singles, but you get to that 100 reps. That's your conditioning week. After that, I go into regular. We'll call it the hypertrophy block, which is your regular programming for 6 weeks, and then after that, I do 3 weeks of peaking, and that's essentially heavy weight acclimation. That's where you start getting your lifts down to just your 3, your deadlift, your bench, and your squat. You're basically maxing out, you're getting your openers, and then the last 2 weeks, you're essentially taking off, you're totally deloading before competition. Usually I time it so I have a week off. And what happened here is I was literally on the last day of my programming. I killed it too, man. I was going to break national records. And on the last lift of the last day of my training, I was getting my deadlift openers, and I had 635 pounds on the bar. It wasn't even my max. And I picked it up, and my bicep popped off the bone. And here we are. The chickens are mandatory. Can't keep up with those prices. Ha! I'm 6'3" and I have some pain doing push-ups. Any tips? Well, when you say some pain, what are we talking about? I'm good. I hope you are too. Try to take it easy, Christina. Georgie says too much info. What's too much info? Your living conditions or my live stream? All right, we got tips on getting bicep pain. Been lifting for 3 years. Cardio and diet. Essentially it's body fat percentage. So first you want to have a cardio. You got to do a lot of cardio, and I I've noticed that vascularity seems to increase as men get older. And it's not saying younger guys can't get vascular, but I've noticed it's more pronounced with older guys. And I don't know if that's because of the skin thinning out, possibly. I don't really know. But vascularity is going to be directly related to your body fat percentage. Tips, let's see. Chin up holds at the top 30 seconds, 3 sets. I don't really like doing holds. I don't think holds net you that much. I think you need to do negatives. Crab Lord. Do steady state cardio 30 minutes every day. Eat lots of nitrates. Take beetroot. Oh yeah. So if you those are vasodilators. So nitrates like vitamin B3 and L-citrulline. Yeah, absolutely. Just do hammer curls and preacher curls. I don't know. I don't really do curls at all. I've been doing them since I hurt my arm. Um, my physique is pretty much rows, and rowing, lots of rowing exercises, heavy rowing. Yeah. So the gentleman that said he was having pain doing push-ups, I asked him to kind of specify, like, where is he having pain? Man, sounds bad. At least you are still lifting. Oh, it's, hey man, I've gotten injured before. I hurt my back. I blew my shoulder out. I had knee surgery. And I have full range of motion. I did really good physical therapy, so I don't have any issues doing. It happens. I'm not saying injury has to be part of your experience, but injuries do happen, and then when they do, you just gotta figure it out. Full range of motion push-ups are good. Anything full range is good. Let's see. We got Blaba Dada. Yo, I'm really asymmetrical towards my right side. I lean. I would say if you focus most of your training on full range of motion barbell lifting, and you did bench press, deadlifts, squats, barbell rows, and then overhead press, and you just focused on those, and you do like a 5x5 for like 6 months, your symmetry will correct itself, or maybe not 100%, but it'll go a long way towards correcting anything that's asymmetrical. The beauty about barbell lifting is that you can only push as hard as your weakest side, so there's a tendency for everything to even out. As long as you're doing the proper volume and programming. Let's see. Thoughts on MK677? I don't really know anything about it. I don't mess with SARMs. I know a lot of people that use that and have really good results. So anecdotally, it sounds like it works really good. But the problem I have with SARMs is there's not really enough human studies. So they don't have long-term studies on the side effects. And it's kind of like, I don't really want to mess with stuff like that. I kind of have to push back against you, Stephen. I think full range of motion lifting is actually crucial, especially as you get older. It doesn't have to be heavy, even if it's body weight. You really, really want to get that, because you're incorporating basically stretching when you're doing full range of motion, and that really, really helps with mobility, especially as you get older. So I would disagree with full range of motion pressing. If you notice, a lot of the exercises I do are actually extended range of motion. Like, I try to go past the normal range of motion for all lifts. What happened to your back? Let's see, back in 97, I got into an accident, and I wound up having 48 stitches across my L5, and I had the L5 had a fracture in it, and pinched off the nerves in my leg. I had to learn how to re-walk again. I didn't have feeling in the right side of my body for about a year. It was pretty bad. Steroid belly. No, I don't think so. I've only been on a pretty small amount of testing DHB for like 4 years. You don't get roid gut in 4 years. Um, that's usually from people that abuse human growth hormone. If anything, it's because I'm 50 and I probably get bloating. That's not abnormal. I mean, you guys come on here and you say stupid shit. You're like, oh my god, it's got a little bit of a gut. It's probably got steroid gut. Oh yeah, terrible. Or maybe when I sit down, I'll let it sticks out a little bit. Let's see what you look like when you're sitting in a chair. I bet you're just like totally sucked up, right? That's comfortable. Fuck off. More like aged bone tea. Yeah. Bone tea's a moron. What are your thoughts on the dumbbell bench press? They're good. I mean, anything that you can get past the normal range of motion of a barbell is going to be good for you. Dumbbells are really good for that. And what's cool about dumbbells is you can change the angle really easily. And then, I like to use the camber bar just because it's convenient. I would say dumbbells are superior, but I don't really own that. I own the kind you have to put together, and it's a pain in the ass, so it's much easier for me to use the camber bar. And let's see, what the hell, you revived sounds badass. All right, what do you say, kids? Should we do some exercising? Some exorcisms. Roy gut. What a fucking asshole. I'd like to see what he looks like. What a dickhead. The other day I was trying to do hip thrust, but I forgot why I got interrupted. Right about there. Stay. All right. What exercise is good to strengthen a weak ankle? You know what? I've been getting a lot of those questions. I'll tell you what I like to do. You know what? I notice I get questions in bunches. So part of my stretching routine, when I get into the ass to grass, I like to try to get my knees over my toes as much as possible. And I try to flatten my feet. So get my heels as close to the ground as I can. And slowly work my knees forward. Put all that weight on them. And then I like to do calf raises using the balls of my feet. Try to get up on my toes if I can. And this works your ankles. Now, as you get stronger and more proficient with your balance, you can do things like, you can start doing like one at a time where you come up and roll. Roll. This will take a little bit of practice, but this is really, really, it's a low barrier to entry. You don't need any equipment. And it's a position everybody should be comfortable getting into. So if you can't get into the ass to grass position, something you kind of want to work on. This will give you really, really strong ankles and good control too. Helps with the balance, helps with a lot of things. It's a good motor skill to develop. And you'll feel like immediately, like all your body weight is on your calves and your ankles right now. It won't take very long before your legs start burning. Whew. Ah. And then, of course, jump rope. Jump rope's good. I don't have one. But that's really good for strengthening the ankles. Jumping jacks. You know, real basic stuff. Just jumping with your ankles. Something as simple as that. Bro, let me know. Let you know what? What's up, Dustin? Did I miss a comment from you? I don't see one. Semper Fi, brother. Machine bench press, really good for bench press strength. It teaches your body to move pure load without stability. I would stay away from machines. And look, machines have their place. They're good for overloading, but the problem is your body becomes really proficient in moving in a single plane. It becomes more neurological than it does muscular at a certain point because you're not having to use any stability. So it seems like it seems counterintuitive because you can really load the hell out of like a hammer strength and just like you put 4 plates on that thing and press it and it looks super impressive. But then you go to bench and you can't hit 225 for a set of 5. It's like, well, why is that? I would say I would get really proficient with barbell pressing and then use the machines as supplemental, you know. Do you stretch your shoulder out on your injured side? I try to as much as I can. It's really difficult. You're welcome, Darren. Christina says that hurts me. Majaned says, can you duck walk? Oh yeah, that's like they make you duck walk to see as part of your entrance to the military. Just as an accessory, not as a replacement. Yes. The body beat down. What's up, brother? I just tried to do what you suggested and lost my balance. Yeah, start slow, Darren. Start slow, but it is cool, right? I mean, if you're playing around with it, you can see, like, you can get an idea of how effective it is, you know. And it's a good skill to develop because it'll trickle over to a lot of other endeavors. You know, I trained Muay Thai like 3 nights. Well, since I got injured, I haven't been, but that's part of the routine that we do for that sport. Did you ever check out Knees Over Toes guy? Yeah, Knees Over Toes guy's legitimate. He's legitimate. I do a lot of the stuff he recommends, especially like the split squats. Like you know, like the barbell on your back, you know, the one-legged split squats where you're coming up like. These are really awesome, especially if you have really bad ankle mobility. Obviously, I don't have a barbell on my back, but Those are great. I like doing his seated good mornings. I like how he works his tibialis out. He's got a bunch of exercises for that. Just pulling a sled backwards, things of that nature. Yeah, knees over toes, guys, legitimate. How many steps would I do of that, what you're talking about? So, Darren, what I like to do is set a timer. Um, I'll start with like 30 seconds. And if that's too easy, then a minute. Something that challenges you. And then from there, your progression is either going to be um, putting your knees farther over your feet, or something that progresses the weight and the flatness and the road and the so the progression for most people, if they can get in a seated squat, right? Or like, let's say they get here and they got your feet flat. So the progression is going to be how far over can you get your knees while still keeping flat feet. And this usually takes, you can hold a weight to add more weight. And you want to sit here and just try to get your heels to touch the ground. You just keep moving the knees forward over the feet. And literally sit there for like 30 seconds to a minute. And just let your body sink. Try to get those heels to touch the ground without moving backwards. And slowly over time, you'll be able to get those knees farther forward. Farther forward. This is the reason why Olympic lifters wear heels, because you can see the heels come off the ground when you get to a certain point. And then from here, you can start just doing a little bouncing. Boing, boing, boing. And then you can more and more and more. And you can try different angles. You can even try like doing like raises. Standing on your tippy toes. There's all sorts of cool things you can do. A lot of that's for Muay Thai. All right. James, what's up, man? We got Mama of Mr. Popeye. What's going on? Darren Chandler, let's see. I answered that one to senior year. Thank you, Mama of Popeye. Do you do the horse stance? Yes, I do what's called a horseshoe squat. So, and this is for hip mobility. So what I like to do is I like to point my feet out as straight as I can get them. And then we do squats. Full range of motion body squats. Get as deep as you can. Kind of stretch into it. Open those hips up. Get them to where it's uncomfortable but not painful. And then from there, that's your starting point. And then usually I'll hold like a weight to keep myself upright. And I'll do sets of squats. And then as you get more proficient, you can widen your stance more. And that really, really, really opens the hips. And it'll help you kick higher. If that's your goal. I'm trying to do that, but I can't seem to get my flat feet. Start with where you can and work your way into it. If it's like say you can't get into a deep squat, find where you can get to and work on that. Just work on your depth. Do body squats from that position and just slowly over time try to get deeper and deeper. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. You got to work into it. But you got your starting points. You have your goals as to where you want to get. And I think that it's going to improve the quality of life for most people if they can get into a seated squat position and comfortably sit there. Howdy, you ever look into peptides? I don't do MK677, but I use TB 500 and BPC 157. GHB, isn't that the date rape drug? Gamma hydroxybutyrate. Do your kids exercise? Yes. Favorite leg workout? Barbell squats. How many pull-ups can you do, Marine? All of them. I can almost do a one-arm pull-up at this body weight, 220. I'm getting really close. Can you do a muscle up? No, honestly, that's not a movement I've practiced. I think if I worked on it, I probably could, but I don't. I've never really got into those. I do a lot of pull-ups though. Tons and weighted. I do heavy weighted pull-ups. I'll put like 100 pounds around my waist. And for me, it's all about one rep max for bench, deadlift, and squat. So I was squatting. I still can squat over 3 times my body weight. For competition in March, I was squatting 3.5 times my body weight. So I weigh 220. So it's 246, almost 700 pounds. I think I would have attempted a 700-pound squat in competition, but I don't know if I would have gotten it or not. I know I definitely would have got like 670. How do I replace all of my body fat weight with muscle weight as fast as I can? Like in the end, reaching the same body weight with muscle instead of fat. Well, first you got to do progressive overload. You have to have a program where you're getting stronger. Like, I don't know what your program is, but you've been on my streams long enough to know that, I always tell people to start with something simple like the starting strength 5x5 or the Wendler 531, something that you progressively overload and put more weight over time on your sets. That's going to get you stronger. That's going to get you bigger. Then recompositioning your body is mostly watching your diet. Eating the right things, and over time, as you gain muscle, you're going to start burning fat. But that's you're going to have to clamp down on your diet to do that. It's really not difficult. Lift heavy, eat right, repeat. I don't know why I've never noticed this, but you kind of look like Hellboy. Damn, am I that ugly? Less than 1% of people can do a muscle up. I think I could if I worked on it. I don't see why I wouldn't be able to. Let's see, Candlezoid, what's up, my man? I'm surprised you don't have your little needle emojis going. You don't have any problems posting those, are you? I found you can block emojis if you look up what the code for them is and put them in the blocked word list. It's me, Armando. All right. But we're glad to have you back, brother. All right, let's do this. Wait. Actually, give me a second. Let me run to the little boys' room real quick. Oh, what a night. All right, all right. Take a quick little tinkle. I'll tell you what, only having one arm makes this exceedingly difficult. Yeah, buddy. Beautiful. There we go. Phew. More of a workout putting the damn weights on. Okay. Say you're excited for the next night's dinner date without saying pelvic thrust exercise. Yeah, pretty much. Think of it as like a deadlift without your arms, essentially. What do you think about temporary tattoos? They're cool. Hey man, I'm laid up with severe nerve damage after a clot spread to the lungs. Damn. I was in a coma, so I had rhabdo pretty badly. Oh shoot. Seems like it'll be a very long road. Any words of wisdom from your struggles? Yeah, well, this is what, this is basically how I've been dealing with it, Mike. Obviously this is nothing like what you're going through, but look at it like this. You have no choice but to move forward. Nothing is going to improve if you don't work towards it. So you got to have a positive mental attitude. Rhabdo can mess your kidneys up. It's gonna take you've got some damage going on. But here's the thing. You can come back from this. And you got to look at it like, one of the things I had to do is I had to let go of all the past. As soon as this happened and I was done with competition, I forgot about all that shit. It's no longer about the records or what numbers I could have had in competition or what I should be lifting. This is my new starting point. All I'm focused on is healing and then moving forward from this as this is the new me. It doesn't matter what I did a month ago. And you know what? It's like the old saying is, live with it or die from it. You know what I mean? Like sometimes life just hands you a shitty sandwich and we keep moving. You know what I mean? You get up and you keep moving. You just keep putting one foot in front of the other. And no matter how bad it gets, just know you're not alone, man. You know what? Like we all have each other in a weird way. If this is nothing else but a little dysfunctional community, people keep coming back, and that's what we do. The guys that stick around, we encourage each other, and we try to push each other. What's up, Sullivan? How's it going? It's all right. Just tinkering, seeing what exercises I can or can't do. What if I don't want to have something in my skin permanently, but still want to try it out? No, there's nothing wrong with temporary tattoos. My kids get them all the time. RB, what's up? We got Richard Stone. What's going on? Absolutely. Fucking so bizarre from going to 775 squat at 308 6 weeks ago to walking with a walker. Definitely putting it past the bed. It's just been crazy to adjust to. Yeah, but you know what? Like, here's the thing. So, I never squat as much as you. Like, maybe you can compare, like, body weight percentages. So, when I lost the use of my leg, I was just about to hit 600 for the first time. I was like 585 and 220 pounds body weight. And then my back went out and I lost the use of my leg. Like, I could not fucking walk. My back was all fucked up. And it took me a year of rehab. I got a playlist. It's physical therapy if you guys want to check it out. It shows you everything I had to go through to get back to competition squatting, and it sucked. But I'll tell you what, I came back stronger, and I buried those numbers. Now, that same weight that I was barely hitting, I could rep for a set of 5 or 6, easy. I think right before competition, I hit 600 for a set of 5. So I mean, the point being, you know, we come back, and it doesn't matter what anybody says. You know, as long as you have movement in your limbs, you can improve. I got a real one, sissy. You talking to a Marine about fake tattoos? Take some pride when you talk to him, man. Blowing guys, let's talk man stuff. Yeah, they're kids, Justin. You know what I mean? Let's see. How does Christina felt every time you get those injuries? The thing is, like, Justin, it's like, I don't know. Here's the thing. People come at me sideways about all sorts of shit. And I, like, you know, like, I don't know how to take them seriously. You know what I mean? Like, I get guys that are like, I want to fight you. And I'm like, okay, that's nice. You know, good for you. You need a hug, buddy? Like, people, like, you know, you've seen all the stupid gay comments. I get all sorts of, like, whatever. It's like, I don't care. I don't know how to take any of that serious. You know, I can't be, I was never one of those, super manly, like, motards, you know. I just feel like I'm more secure with myself, you know? Like, it's just, meh. It'd be like, it's a question of manhood. It's like, dude, I hunt. I go bow hunting. You know, we go out in the woods and we'll spend like 6 days, and we don't do the kind of hunting where you sit in a tree and wait for the deer to come to you. We go track our shit. You know, we go camping up in the mountains of Utah in the wintertime. Well, you know, I train Muay Thai and boxing. It's like, if guys want to talk shit, get in the ring. Nobody ever shows up. I can outlift everybody I know. But when it comes to, like, to being, like, overly manly and just, like, you know, really hard, it's just not me, you know? I'm like, just whatever, come as you are, brother. But I 100% agree with what you're saying. I'm absolutely grateful to be alive. I was in a coma for 16 hours before they found me. Dude, that's crazy. That is a crazy story, and I'm so sorry that happened to you. I'm really, really happy that you're here talking to me now, and I hope I can help you move forward. If there's anything I can do, please do not hesitate to ask. What is my favorite Pokemon? I'm not really into Pokemon, I'll be honest with you. I can't get into that. Yeah. No, it's all good, Justin. Why don't you get an EGA tattoo? I got one. Dude, I don't know. I am the only Marine I know that doesn't have a single tattoo. And on top of that, the irony is that I do tattoos professionally. I do tattoos. I have a tattoo gun. I've got all the inks. I got the shaders. I practice on pigskins. I haven't done one on a real person in a few years, but I used to do tattoos all the time. My wife's got ink on her back that I designed, and um, but I don't have one. And people are like, "Well, how am I gonna get a tattoo from a guy that doesn't have one?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know. Like, do you get drawings from people that don't fucking paint themselves with marker? Like, if you can see what I can do, here's a picture of it. Take it or leave it, buddy." But yeah, that was a big hang up. A lot of people didn't want to get a tattoo from me because I didn't have any. And I'm just like, I don't even have a reason. I'm not against them. I just never, I don't know. I just never got one. The one or two times I went down to San Diego with the boys, they're all going to get tattoos over the weekend, and I was supposed to get one, and I got so fucking shit-faced drunk that they wouldn't do one on me. And just, I don't know, I just never did. I wish I had a cool story. But can you do a triple backflip? Huh. Do you have a divorce recently? Did you have a divorce recently? Well, I don't know what you mean by recently, King Midas, but I've been with my wife for 14 years, I'm sorry. And she's still in the house. I got her tied up with duct tape, but that way she can't serve me papers. Hell yeah, Michael. Learn something new about someone every day. Yeah. Christina Remington. That's my wife right there. You talk to her. Clara Rice, 22, says hi. I got the Bulldog too, Stephen Sullivan. So if you go to the recruiting office in Arlington Heights, Illinois, I painted the Bulldog on their the mural in their office.
Hey, Dad. Are you busy?
I don't know. What do you think, sweetie?
You wanted me to ask if you were busy next time you came in.
Well, what's up?
I wanted to ask for 3 ices.
3 ices?
Yeah. The sparkling waters.
I gotta take this out of the freezer. No, those are for us. Are you talking about the cans? These right here?
Sure.
I'll give 2 though.
Well, I guess I can do.
There you go. Yeah, don't be giving our shit away.
Okay, sorry.
Let me pull these out of the freezer real quick. Went to the store and bought a bunch of drinks. Wants to give them all away to the neighbors' kids. Charizard. Yeah, Charizard's cool. Let's see. We forgot our anniversary. I'll talk to you about that after this. I don't think we did, sweetheart. What is your max bench press? I have no idea right now, Gabriel, but before I hurt my arm, it was about 410 pounds. And the heaviest all time was in 2022. I hit 425. Like the guns and ammo fits in. We forgot our anniversary. Oh, you're talking about Christina Remington. Her last name. Let's see. The real Bando Kev says fake weights. Yeah, hell yeah. They're actually made out of compressed pantyhose that I got out of your mom's drawers. So what we did is we chipped them all up and shredded them and then put them in epoxy, and then I painted them orange. And then the other ones are made out of balsa wood and yeah, they're all fake. Gen X, I was thinking about new fun hobby to do. You won't expect it, but I've been wanting to try ghost hunting. Hey, get in where you fit in, my man. Let's see, my fellow redhead, how is life going for you? Pretty good. Let's see, how long have I been on here? 104? All right. I'll answer Christina for you. Every day is an anniversary with you. Scratch and sniff. Fuck yeah, man. I got the ones that had the little bit of, they looked a little juicy. Wanted to make sure that smell carried over. Especially here in the desert, it gets really hot. Yeah. So the real Bendo Kev. It smells like your mom's crotch in my garage. Let's check you out. Let's see what your profile looks like. Go to channel. Oh, yeah, I can see why you think they're fake. Looks like the only thing you can lift is a crack pipe. All right. Suleiman, of course I remember you. Yeah, we were just talking the other day. As a matter of fact, I responded to two of your comments earlier today. Nice shirt. Yeah, it sucks that I don't know when YouTube started flipping the screen so that it mirrors the camera. It pisses me off. I wish I could flip it back so you could actually read it. Let's see, it's 7:24. You and Christina ever had a paranormal experience that someone you guys know have? Yes. Yeah, so this is a weird one. We had a St. Bernard, and her name was Baby, and that dog is beloved. Coolest dog ever. Lived to be almost 14 years old. Long story short, she passed away. She passed away, and she died in our house. And on the day she died, I heard a dove in the house, like in the middle of the house. And I thought I was just hearing shit. I'm thinking, it can't be real. But I distinctly heard it. And I was thinking, that's probably one of the doves outside and it's just the sounds echoing, right? Easy explanation. Wife comes down the stairs and says, "Did you hear that dove?" And I'm looking at her, I'm like, "You heard that shit too?" I said, "Yep." I'm like, damn. Yeah, maybe it's a coincidence. I don't know. But that one kind of stuck with me a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm like, interesting. And then, of course, I've had you don't live to be 50 years old and not have a little bit of death in your life, a little bit of tragedy here and there. And I've had some interesting experiences, but that one really stuck with me. Where did you buy that shirt? My wife got it for me. How am I holding up, Calvin? I'm doing okay. What martial arts do you do? Currently, I'm practicing Muay Thai. Before that, I was training orthodox boxing for the better part of a year, and then I used to do a little kickboxing and taekwondo way back in the day. That was a long time ago. Of course, then there was McMAPS, the Marine Corps Martial Arts Program, which I would say I wasn't like competitively proficient at, but I'm proficient enough where we practice it regularly. What's up? How do you keep the chickens in the summer? So, Oscar, you're like, oh my God, we could have a whole fucking podcast on just chicken keeping. Here in Vegas, we don't have any problems with our chickens. So, everything from putting blocks of ice out there with them, literally like 10 or 15 blocks, frozen bottles of ice water. And then I've got misters set up. We have everything shaded. They have a 30-foot enclosure. There's plenty of water. There's plenty of shade. There's plenty of everything. There's cooling. So we have everything from electrical cooling, or mechanical cooling rather, like swamp coolers, air conditioners, that kind of thing, fans, to misters, and then of course frozen, just freezing ice. We take about 2 liters, put them in the freezer, let them freeze overnight, and then every morning they put them out there with the chickens, and they do just fine. Never had any problems with any of them. Haven't lost anyone. Well, we did lose one to heat. My favorite chicken, my Silky, Connie, got trapped in the garden, and I don't understand. She passed away from heat exposure. And I was like, "You stupid chicken," because there was plenty of She could have dug in the dirt. There was plenty of water in there. I don't understand how she passed away, but unfortunately she did. And so that's where we started taking precautions to make sure that chickens couldn't get in areas where they couldn't get the cooling. So you gotta put a lot of work in to kind of chicken proof your backyard when it gets really hot. But if you know put a little effort into it and spend a little bit of money on some misters and cooling and shading, and they'll be perfectly fine. What do you do for a living? I'm in commercial construction. Currently, I'm the safety manager for a steel erection company here in Vegas. Um, do you think barbell squatting every day is too much? Probably. That's pretty much all I've been doing, though. Steven, I'm 5'8". They've always bumped me against guys twice my size. Yeah. Is it a weight thing, or is it just how it rolled out? You got my ass beat. I got my ass beat a lot, dude. But you know what? There's something spiritual. I think every man should get his ass kicked at least once in his life, just to understand that you're not made out of glass, and kind of takes that. You've seen those like infantile egomaniacs that are always like puffing their chest and yelling and acting all hard and just being obnoxious. Those, I believe, those are guys that are untested and have never been in a fight. They've never been punched in the face. And you just look at them and you're like, oh my God, you're so fucking annoying. Wes Watson, that'd be a good example. Like hard all the time, like stupid. Like nobody who wants to be like that? Like that can't be fun to be around. She said when she was younger in Brazil, she went to this area where people did voodoo and hoodoo. The lady pulled my mom aside and said, blonde lady is watching over my mom. Damn. We have a ranch over here in Texas, hunting ranch. It's called JB Hunting Ranch. That's cool. What kind of hunting you do? You ever been like Digger Nick, ever been in a street fight? The last actual fight in like a public place that I was in, I want to say was 20 years ago, maybe. I got in a fight in front of a gas station. This guy that was trying to harass the clerk, I basically balled him up and held him down until the cops got there. And then I got stabbed in the foot in a bar in Oceanside. Yeah, we had a couple stupid fights in public. But no, I mean, no. You get to a certain point where you're a mature grown man, and we don't get into violent altercations in public. I know people like to talk shit, but you really should try to avoid that stuff. Use your words. Situational awareness will get you out of 99.9% of everything. If you just don't look like an easy target, people won't bother you. And then I haven't found any situation where I've had to escalate it. And I think a lot of guys, they get their ego involved, and they feel like if they don't stand up for themselves, they're not being a real man. And it's like, okay, I mean, that you do you. But I actually, I pride myself in my conflict resolution skills and my ability to de-escalate situations that are intense and violent. And my wife could tell you, like we used to go downtown to Fremont Street, and there was a couple times where the group I was with would have gotten into an altercation, but I squashed it. A couple occasions, like I was the guy that broke everything up, and I told this one guy, I said, get the fuck back in your car. He's like, okay. And then I was like, all right, come on, baby, let's go. And then pulling everyone apart. I'm like, all right, fucking settle down, people. I'm the guy that tries to calm everyone down, So I don't get into fights in public. I don't think a measure of a man is like trying to prove yourself, by committing assault. But I'll tell you what, corner me and you give me no choice, and see what happens. How do you organize I usually have a handgun on me, so How do you organize your thoughts in a hostile situation? What's your process? Well, any kind of emergency situation, you try to first. You got to have situational awareness, and then you really want to like you try to assess it, and your first order should be to eliminate the threat, get away from it, or whatever the hazard is. Usually, like in a construction site, it's like if somebody's injured, you want to make sure that somebody's called emergency services and the gate's been contacted. So when the ambulance comes in, they have a path in, and the first issue is the person that got hurt. The second issue uh, is the hazard still there? Can it hurt someone? You treat the wounded, eliminate the hazard, call emergency services, and it's like basically it's incident command. Well, it's the same thing in a situation. Like I don't drink, I'm always sober, so I'm usually the one that's watching and looking around. Well, know your surroundings. Who are you walking down the street with? What are your escape routes? Where are you going? Do like 9 times out of 10, if you're in a situation where somebody's trying to come up to you to start something, just going away solves that. Leaving, like bye, fuck off. Just keep walking. If they chase you down, that's a different situation. Christina married the right person. I've fucked her over a few times, but I do try to be a good husband. I'm 50 years old. Just carry a defense item. Yes, I usually have a 45 on me. Concealed carry. My wife likes to carry she's got a couple of Smith & Wesson 40s. One of them's an MP Shield. The other one's an HK P2000. What else you got, babe? What? Don't you have a third one? I can't remember. The guy almost hit us with a car. I started mouthing off. Yeah, that was awesome. Dude, that girl got out of the car and you were like getting ready to swing on her, and I grabbed you and picked you up. And then the dude starts getting out of the car, and I turned around and I slammed his hood and I said, "No." And he looked at me and he got back in the car. And then I grabbed you and I kept going. Like that was the whole conversation. And then what he didn't realize is that we had, what's his name, following up the rear with his girlfriend, and he was getting ready to jump in. And I forgot about him. What was his name? Oh, he was nuts too. That guy, he definitely would have escalated the situation. What was his name? Oh. Babe, what was his name? Ryan Scheit. Yeah, Ryan was in the Army. He was a crazy motherfucker. While you're in recovery, are you running footwork drills for Muay Thai? Yeah, I'm doing as much as I can. The problem is this thing throws off my balance. Not much, but enough where I don't know. I just feel like I'm gonna have this thing off of me in a couple of weeks, and I don't want to overdo it. I'm just kind of like riding it out until Doc tells me I can take this thing off and I can start training again. They do allow open carry in Vegas. The problem is I think it makes you a target, especially in large public settings. I don't like the optics of open carry. I do appreciate that people are exercising their rights as citizens, and I'm all for open carry. You want to open carry, go for it. But for me personally, I think it attracts too much attention. I don't like it. I got this 4'11" girl. I had a crush on a pink pepper spray from Walmart as a late birthday gift. The cashier smiled at me after I told her I'm 18. Clearly, I'm not 18 with my baby face. A pink pepper spray from Walmart. Oh, you had to be 18 to buy it. I got you. Hey, man. Ideal CCW, AK-74. You gotta wear a big jacket. Wanted to give her a gift to keep her safe. I remember the Taurus 1911. Was it a 1911? that thing was a piece of shit. Rights are like muscles, but I hear what you're saying. Why can't I see Ryan's comments? Ryan, I don't know. Are we talking about the guy I'm talking about? F open carried has a purpose, but you're more likely to get it stolen or used on you than the other way around. Yeah, and the other thing that worries me is that a lot of people don't train with their weapons. They don't go to the range regularly. They don't even do like holster drills, like dry fire drills, like just unholstering it, or doing doing jamming drills, that kind of thing, magazine swaps. And then you see it too, like they'll pull it out and they don't even know how to, like they can't even put it back in. Like, you're more of a liability in this situation. Yeah, Ryan's not in the chat. All right, kids, it is 7:30. I'm gonna get running. We're gonna cook some burgers up. You got me to 8,000 yet? What the hell, guys? I need some more subscribers. I saw you at EOS. Yeah, you likely did. I trained there, and I will be training there again, too. Injured, currently. It won't be too long. Thank you, Spencer. Appreciate that. Have a nice night, man. Keep it up and stay hard. Hell yeah, James. Yep. I don't know if I'm going to stream tomorrow. I might take tomorrow off, but I'll be on again soon. I think I'm just going to stick to barbell squats because I can do those with this contraption. And I think that's really what I get the most mileage out of. So I'm going to see how heavy I can still go. All right, guys. I love you all. I will see you on the battlefield. Hell yeah.